Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Tech Tutorial Tuesday, where today we'll be looking at a very powerful Excel function called Vlookup. So what is a Vlookup? Well, a Vlookup is an Excel function that will let you look up a value in one table, find it in a second table, and return a value from a column of your choosing based on if there's an exact match or an approximate match. So what do we need in order for this to happen? Well, we need four things. One, what do we want to look up? Two, where do we want to look for it? Three, what's the column that we want to return? And four, are we looking for exact matches or approximate matches? Now let's take a look at a sample set of data and see exactly how this function works. As you can see on my screen here, I have two very simple sets of data. I have one set of data here that shows the accountants with their favorite color, and I have a second set of data here that shows some of their favorite foods. So what if I want to add favorite color to the end of my favorite food report here? Well, I can do that very easily by using a Vlookup function. So to do this, I'm just going to go ahead and start with my function equals Vlookup, open parenthesis. Remember, the first thing I have to do is designate a lookup value, which in this case will be name. Then I add a column and tell the function where do I want to look this value up. So it's going to be in this table here, the favorite color set of data. Another comma brings me to step 3, which is what column do I want to return. My report here has two columns. Column 1 is name, column 2 is color. So in this case, I would like to return column 2. And the last part is to tell the function, do I want to return approximate matches or only exact matches? So let's see what changes based on what I go with here. Let's start with approximate matches. True, close my parentheses, and hit enter. So for Maddie here, it returned color blue. However, if you look at my favorite color report, you'll notice that there's nobody named Maddie on this report. So why did the function return blue here? Well, Excel is smart enough to know that Maddie and Matt are approximate. They contain most of the same letters in the same order. The only difference is that Maddie obviously has a Y at the end. So what would have changed if instead of true here, I went with false and asked for exact matches only? You'll notice that it changed to NA. Why? Well, because Maddie doesn't show up in my report here, and we told Excel to only return exact matches. So how do we fix this? Well, we have to change Maddie's name or Matt's name depending on what the correct spelling or more formal spelling that we want to use throughout our reporting. So if I want to stick with Matt, all I have to do is delete the Y here, hit enter, and the function will recalculate to blue because it now sees that there's somebody called Matt on my favorite color report. All I have to do now is drag down my formula through this favorite food report, and you'll see that it's added the favorite color of all of these people here on the report. This, of course, is a very basic example, so let's take a look at how we can translate these skills into an everyday situation. So a little bit earlier, I went into Entrada and I ran a couple of reports. As you can see, my first tab here is a rent roll report, and my second tab here is a resident data report. You'll notice on my resident data report, I have a couple columns that list the make and model of residents' vehicles, and on my rent roll report, I do not have that information. So this is something folks reach out to Matt and myself pretty often about. They've pulled two reports, they each contain two different sets of data, and they want to know if there's any way for us to merge the two together. So I'm sure as you can guess from this training, a very easy solution here is a Vlookup. So how would we do this? Again, we need to remember that we need a unique identifier on each report. If you're looking at Yardi, this will be something like the P code, the T code, or I think there's an S code in there as well. If you're looking at Entrada, a bunch of the reports have a column called lease ID, which is a unique identifier in the system. So what do I do if I want to put make and model of residents' vehicles on this report? Of course, I need to add those columns, and then I need to start with my Vlookup function. So even though in this example we have two separate tabs, the function works exactly the same. So I'm going to begin typing, open my parenthesis. What do I want to look up? Again, very important. This is going to be the unique identifier that we're looking up on one report, and it's contained on the other report as well. So as I mentioned, that's lease ID here. close my include a column there, and then I tell it where do I want to look it up. So this is going to be in my resident data report. You can see here in my formula, Excel automatically changed where it's looking to the resident data sheet, and I'm going to highlight this whole thing. I know make is the 11th column, so I'll do that. And then it's very important that I'm only looking at exact matches here. We never want to run into a situation where we're mixing and matching residents that may not be the same person. So in this case, 100% of the time, we're going to want to do exact matches. False, close my parenthesis, equals, and that value populated here. So I'm going to go ahead and double click in the corner here. That'll bring it all the way down. And then I'm going to begin with my next Vlookup for the model of vehicle. So again, equals Vlookup, open my parenthesis, looking up the same lease ID. I'm going to be looking it up in the exact same table here, only this time I know I want column 12, which is model, and again, exact matches. One more time, I'll double click in the corner, and it's populated this entire column. So just like that, I've merged a data field from my resident data report that I didn't have on my rent roll report, and have made it appear here now. And that brings this week's tutorial to an end. So guys, we all have Excel on our computers. If you have 5 or 10 minutes this week, log in, practice VLOOKUPs, make yourself an expert so that when it's time to merge reports together, you know exactly what you're doing. I'll see you guys next week with another Tech Tutorial Tuesday.